You're welcome to Sahara TV. Can you tell us about yourself? Let's introduce yourself to us.
All right, thank you, Mr. Toby. Actually, my name is Omeli Darlington. I'm from Eziagu local government area, Olo, in Enugu State. So, but I live in Lagos. I've spent most of my, life in Lagos. Yeah.
So, can you tell us what happened between you and First Bank Nigeria Limited?
Yeah. Actually, what happened is that at the initial stage of my life, I had tried all my best, struggle to survive, both in the eastern region and in Lagos here. When I came to Lagos, I had actually finished, I was through with my primary school, and I commenced my secondary school education. Then, yeah, by the time I finished my secondary school, SS3, I could not raise money, enough fund to write my WAEC, so I had to. That was what brought me to Lagos some years back. So when I got into Lagos here, I started hustling, just like doing some kind of a menial job like security, street trading, and the rest of it, including dispatch riders. So along the line, I was able to raise money, and I was able to go back to school and write my WAEC. After writing my WAEC, I proceeded to Lagos State Polytechnic, where I went to obtain my a diploma, a national diploma, in business studies. After that, I had to enroll with Ibadan Polytechnic for higher national diploma. So while I was, studying at Ibadan Polytechnic, Lagos Annex, Coca Annex to be precise. So I had already gotten a job with First Bank of Nigeria PLC. That was in 2010. So though a consultant gave me that job and posted me to First Bank. So this is the consultant, Sandy Management Consultant Limited at First Bank. So when I got that job, I was posted to First Bank head office. So First Bank head office gave me a letter deploying me to Igomu branch. So these are the documents to show that I work with them. So I commenced work at Igomu branch since 2010 till 2013, while I carry out my duty diligently without having any problem. So for these 3 years, I had worked at Igomu branch as a dispatch rider. I was totally in charge of dispatching everything that has to do with their documents. That was my job. So on the September 25th, 2013, one of my guy in the office, Mr. Abimbola Jayesimi, who happened to be the relationship manager to a company known as Olam Nigeria Limited. Olam Nigeria Limited is one of the bank customers directly opposite our bank, our branch at Igomu there. So this man called me and told me that he had some urgent documents which he wanted me to dispatch first thing that morning. That was around 8 o'clock thereabout, when we just resume work in the morning. So when he told me that, I said okay, because I was already in the driver's room, that's away from our department, eating, when he summoned me to come and dispatch those documents. So I just took an excuse from him that he should just allow me finish my meal. So, and again, I drew his attention that there were some documents owned by Mrs. Kelechi Oboe, one of our relationship manager again, which she instructed me to dispatch first thing that morning. Those documents were collected from our various customers on the 24th of September 2013, and Ms. Kelechi now ordered me to dispatch it first thing in the morning, being 25th of September. So when I told Mr. Bimbola, he said, no problem, but I will have to first of all dispatch all his documents first thing that morning before doing any other job. I said okay. So I returned back to finish my meal. By the time I got through with my breakfast, I returned back to collect those documents. So as I was leaving our department to that driver's room where I was eating, I saw one Mr. Mike from Olam Nigeria Limited, the same company that owes that money. That money. So that man walked straight to Mr. Bimbola. He was discussing with Mr. Bimbola when I left that place. So when I finished eating my meal, I returned back to our department. When I got there, I found out that Mr. Bimbola and Mr. Mike had already gone out. Both of them, nobody was in the department then. Then I had to proceed to the documents which he had already instructed me to dispatch. Those documents were on top of his printers where he pointed it to me. There were many in numbers, not only one, about 18 or thereabouts, so many bunch of documents. So I collected all of them and had to photocopy them. So among the first documents, among the rest of the document, happened to be this transfer documents. This transfer document is an instruction from Olam Nigeria Limited. So when I saw Olam Nigeria, I assumed that maybe it was Mr. Mike who brought it that morning. So, and according to my job description, I cannot touch this document. I will not dispatch it unless I check on two items on it. One, if none of my senior managers has signed it and stamp it as well, then I will just have to keep it aside. But on looking at this, by me looking at this particular one, I found out that this document had been stamped by our department, Institutional Banking Group Manufacturing, Igomo branch. This is my department stamp. And then Mr. Bimbola, who happened to me, the one that instructed me to dispatch those documents, had already signed it. This is his authentic, his signatures. He has stamped and signed all of them. So I had to photocopy this one among the rest of the documents, and then took it straight to the branch secretary where he has directed this document to be. The branch secretary was still in the same, just like in this your office here. So the room is divided into different departments, and it's an open place where anybody can come in and go out at any time. So I had to take this one straight to the branch operation manager. The branch operation secretary had to stamp it for me and sign. Then she will have to enter it into her own register, and I will have to retain this copy in my own editing until when I have to drop it for any of my like demanders send me to dispatch it. I will have to return this copy to him to show that yes, I have already dispatched these documents. That was actually what happened that day.
So how did you get to be in possession of this copy if you're supposed to submit it to somebody?
So?
How did you get to be in possession of this document if you're supposed to drop it for a senior officer?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. How I usually get this document is that, each time I'm made to dispatch a document, either if, like for instance now, if you happen to be my organ now, so you can tell me, Darlington, I take this document, go and dispatch it. But if I'm not, like, you can call me on the phone, you tell me that, Darlington, where are you? I say I'm not around, or maybe I will be on my way back to the office. You will not say, okay, I drop document on the printer, on a vacant table, anywhere. So when you get back, just collect it and dispatch it. That's all. So once I get there, I will have to proceed to that document. Okay. So like this particular one now, Mr. Bimbola has instructed me that morning that to dispatch documents while I was eating. So I followed him down to his table, and he instructed me to dispatch them. So when I got to that place, the document he wanted me to dispatch were many. So by the time I returned to carry those documents after finishing my meal now, he was no longer there. So I had to proceed to where he had dropped those documents, whom happened to be on top of his printer.
So how did the trouble started? How did the whole issue started?
So the whole trouble started when I had dispatched this document. Then I proceeded outside the station, outside our branch. Like I went to Flour Mill, Papa that day. I went to 7-Up Bottling Company at Ijora. Then I went to Ido Nigerian Bottling Company, Ido. So I was there when my phone rang. Mr. Bimbola, the man that signed this document, and Mrs. Kelechi Ogbueyi, all their names are here, our attention here. So both of them called my phone successively. They asked me to quickly return back to the branch, that they had other documents which they wanted me to dispatch. I said, okay, I had to suspend the rest of the document I was doing that day and now quickly return back to the branch. So by the time I got to the branch, I found that Mr. Abimbola was not there. It was only Mrs. Kelechi Ogbueyi in the branch, in my department. So I had to now deliver the copies of all the documents I had worked for that day. I first of all started from her own, which she dropped, all the documents she herself dropped on the 24th of September 2013. I gave it to her. So she certified that yes, I had already dispatched them all without any problem. Then I now started from Abimbola's own. So when I was handing over Abimbola's own to her, I now got to this particular document. When you got to this document, she now said, who gave me this document, Darlington? I said, this one is among the Abimbola's document. She now said, that this document is having problem. I said, what could be the problem? Now, the only problem I know I could be having with the document is if I do not dispatch it on time and the customer starts calling for it. So, and I know that the operations secretary stamp is already there with her signature, and it is already inside her register with time when I dispatch this document. So I do not have problem with that. So as I was talking to her, my senior, the overall manager in my department, Mrs. Mojisola Majasa, called me my phone again as I was talking with Mrs. Kelechi. She said, "Where are you, Darlington?" I said, "I was already in the branch." She said, "Okay." She quickly return to Marina. That is First Bank head office. That she was there. I should come and meet her there. So I said, "Okay." At that moment, I had to collect a 500 naira claim from Mrs. Kelechi, and quickly ran back to Marina, First Bank head office, number 35 Marina. So when I got there, I walked straight to 9th floor. That was okay. First of all, from Ido back to my branch, I got there, I checked my time, it was 2:50 p.m. because I used to check time, I used to move with time. It's 2:50 p.m. Then from my branch, I had to run down to Marina. When I got to Marina, I walked straight to 9th floor at my group, institutional banking group head. So when I got to her office, I met the secretary there. It was 3:30 p.m. I met the secretary, Mrs. Felicia. So Miss Felicia, I told her I want to see my madam. And she said she's here. He said yes, that all of them that were in a meeting, both people, everybody that they were in a meeting, I should wait. I had to wait in that office from 3:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. in the evening. So around 6 p.m. in the evening, Mr. Abimbola, the man that signed this document, was the first person who came out from one office there. So he said, Darlington. I quickly rushed to meet him because he's Morgan. He said, did I submit some transfer in the morning among the rest of the transfers? I said, yes, sir. He said, okay, that transfer, that if anybody should ask me anything about the transfer, that I should say that I submitted it in error. I said, okay, sir, but Oga, please, may I know what happened so that I will be able to, when I'm answering anybody, I will know how to. She said, I should not worry. I should just do what he said, what he asked me to say. So he was leaving me when my madam, the madam that called me to come, summoned me to come to that place, now have to come out again. So both she and Madam Mr. Abimbola spoke in low tone. After discussing, the madam said, okay, Darlington, I should go to security department and wait for them. So meanwhile, that 9th floor, that's my group head office, I discovered that many people were in that room where they were discussing, where both of them came out from. So they now asked me to leave that place and go to the security department. So I had to leave that 9th floor to 2nd floor security department and wait for them. So when I got there, shortly, Mr. Abimbola and Mojisola now came there. So when they came, all of us, we had this discussion with the security head. I don't know the name of that man, but that man is bar-headed. So after discussing with him, the man now said, okay, madam, what do you want us to do in this situation? The madam now said, that Mojisola Majasa now said that if only I should just say that I submitted the document in error, that is all they needed me to do for them. The security man now said, Darlington, have you heard your madam? I said, yes, I have heard. But please, I have just one question. He said, okay, go on. I said, please, I just want them to tell me what is going on with this document, so that when I'm speaking with anybody, I will know how to compose my way or something. The madam, immediately I made such statement, the madam flared up. She almost slapped me. She said, that's one time that I'm too stubborn. So as the fracas was going on, the security man now had to ask me to sit further from them, away from them. So 3 of them now discussed. After discussing, Abimbola and Mojisola left the security department. So the security people handed me over to one Mr. Abidemi, one of the security personnel there. So, and now Mr. Abidemi gave me a sheet of paper asking me to write statement of all that happened that day. So that was when the man told me that this document I submitted in the morning happened to be a fraudulent document. Now, when you look at this document contains a lot of signatures and stamps originating from Olam Nigeria Limited. Totaling, the first one is 100 million naira. The second one is 80 million naira. The third one is 88 million. And the last one is 87 million naira, totaling 355 million naira, originating from Olam Nigeria Limited. So I had to write my statement up to that moment when they were asking me to admit that I submitted it in error. So after writing it, the officer, Mr. Bidemi, it was already towards evening time. Mr. Bidemi now had to put me inside the security van and took me to Lion Building Police Station. When we got to the Lion Building Police Station, he handed me over to the police and told the police that my guy will come the following day to come and explain what happened. So I was detained in their cell, and the following day, very early in the morning, Mr. Abimbola, the man that signed this document, was the first person who came there. When he came, they brought me out from the cell. So Abimbola made a statement. Me, myself, I'm making my statement. So when the police officer saw all the people involved, he found out that in these documents, about 4 different stamps originating from 4 different departments of Olam Nigeria Limited is on this document, and each stamp has its own 2 signatories from Olam. Without that, this transfer instruction will not go, meaning that 4 stamp and 8 different signatures is on this. So the officer now said, okay, and again, the document has their customers, Olam customers, where the money is to be transferred, and all of them are limited registered accounts with banks, different type of banks. You can see both Zone Bank, both Sterling Bank, and the rest of it. So the police now told him that this document contained all the information he needed. That by the time he finished investigating this document, that if anything concerned me, he said no. Abimbola said no, that they should just torture me to say the truth. That was how I was returned to the cell, and that day passed. Then the second day, being Friday, I was taken there on Wednesday, 25th of September 2013. Then I stayed there till Friday, 27th of September 2013. On Friday, my IPO, Mr. Elegbede of blessed memory, that man is dead now. Mysteriously he died. I don't know what killed him. So the man brought me out from the cell and told me that I should call my people to come and bail me, because First Bank and my guys have refused to assist police with the necessary information needed to unravel those people involved in this matter. So he released my phone, my Boat 5 Nokia, my Boat 5 BlackBerry and Nokia Touch, Nokia phone. I started calling my people, but due to the magnitude of the money involved, you know, we Igbos, we are so reluctant in rushing to the station, you know. So that was how I stayed there till towards evening time. So this man is a very good man, Mr. Legbede. He told me that he cannot detain me against his wish, that he must get me a bailout from that place. So he now quickly called Mr. Abidemi from First Bank Security Department, the man that brought me to the station. He called him to come. So when the man got there, he told the man that he wanted him to sign my bail bond, that he will be releasing me immediately. So the man was initially somehow reluctant, but at the end of the day, the man said that he doesn't have money to pay the police. So Mr. Legbede told him that he is not charging him 1 naira, but he cannot detain me here, because everything that they make him to detain me there on Friday night, that means till Monday before I will get back, and he is against his own principle. So that was how Mr. Abidemi signed my bail bond, and the police discharged me accordingly. He gave me all my properties, including my 2 phones. Then Mr. Abidemi now requested my IPO that he should retain my Boat 5 BlackBerry till Monday. so that he will be able to inform his oga them. So if there's no issue coming up against me, I should come and collect it. So Alegbede said, okay, no problem. He now called me back and collected my Boat 5 Nokia, Boat 5 BlackBerry. Then he asked me one question and said, do you have enough money to take me home, Mr. Darlington? Because it is better to beg at the station than to beg at the bus stop. I told him that I have a little money to take me to the office. From there, I will meet my colleagues and go home. He said, okay. That was how I left the station. Now, as if I just finished discussing with you here, and I was going home, I just got to the gate there. Mr. Bidemi, the same Mr. Bidemi, ran after me. He shouted my name, Darlington, Darlington, please come, come. I just stopped. He said, please, I have assisted you. Assist me back so that they don't sack me that I did something on my own. So I said, okay. He said I should wait, that he has informed his ogas before I will go home so that he will get feedback from them. So that was how we were waiting there. I know these people. We were just discussing. Before you knew it, the same security van, which they used in bringing me down to that place, to the station there, drove behind us. Mr. Bidemi said, thank God, though, our security van is here. Why don't you join us so that we will take you to the office? Because it was getting dark. And that was my first time of coming towards that area. I don't even know that area before. So he said, let us take you to the head office. From there, you can find your way home. I thought it was as a good gesture. So I wasn't having anything ulterior motive. So I had to join them. When I opened the door, I put my head inside the van. I found that's the back of the, it is an open back. Then first one and second. So I entered into the van. When I entered, I found out that a mopo with gun was at the back of that vehicle. I joined the mopo. Then the Mr. Bidemi now joined me. At the front was the spy policeman driving the vehicle. An old man anyways. Yeah, an old man. And another man again, Mr. Okon. I only know Mr. Okon and the policeman and the Bidemi, but I don't know the policeman with gun. So as we just closed the door, I look outside and found out that one of my brother, Mr. Cletus Wore, whom I called since morning, had entered into the station through another route. And the police showed him that I had been discharged. They showed him my baby bond that I had been discharged, that I had already gone home. So while he was coming out, I now shouted him, I shouted his name. He said, I said, thank God they have paid me. We'll see at home tomorrow, being Saturday. So that was how so as we were just greeting like that, now, the vehicle was already moving. That was how I left that place. Now, instead of these people the vehicle, to my surprise, the vehicle made a U-turn. Instead of heading to Marina, they said the vehicle negotiated towards an unknown destination. The last place I knew that vehicle got to was Obalandi. I didn't know the next place again. So I was somehow apprehensive. I said, okay, where are you taking me to? The man at the front, Mr. Okon, said, this is not the right time to ask stupid question, boy. I said, okay, I stay quiet. The next thing again, I removed my Nokia touch. Mind you, they have seized my BlackBerry. I remaining Nokia touch. I removed that Nokia touch to make phone call, to call my people, to tell them that look at what was going on. The same man dragged my phone from me. So I now became somehow disturbed. I began to disturb all of them inside the vehicle. I said, that means you are kidnapping me, you want to kill me. So as I was disturbing them through. So as I was disturbing them, that man, the Mr. Bidemi, the one sitting by my side, removed a tiny cloth and tied my face, one red tiny cloth, and tied my face. I said, that means my life is in danger. If a sitting governor in the time of Ngige in Anambra State could be kidnapped, that means my life also is in danger. So as I was disturbing all of them, the Mopo man was trying to hold me down. So a thought came into me, because it was already getting dark. A thought came into me. I now had to relax. So as I relaxed, them to relax, they left me. So before you knew it, I had to jump from where I was sitting. I dive over to the driver. I used this my left hand side to hijack the driver's neck, and use this one to hijack because that man is Papa, he's an old man. So I thought I could overpower him. So I used this one to hold his hand and the key van. I switch off the van in motion. The vehicle almost had accident. So They started beating me. They said, I didn't want to kill us. I said, yes, it's better all of us die here than only me to die here. Why are you taking me to? You must tell me where you're taking me to. That's all I needed from you. And you will release my phone for me to call my people. They started beating me. The mopo used the boot of his gun they were hitting all my joints. Blood all over the place. My clothes was torn to pieces. I didn't know what to do. They beat me. I said, until you kill me, I seize the key. I said, unless you kill me here, before I will release this key. So the way the vehicle stopped will cause heavy traffic along the road because other vehicles could not pass by. So some big men along that road now had to, this Obalende Secretariat, towards this thing. So Voice of Nigeria, this thing. That was around that area. It was later I came to realize that place. So all of them, some big men with big belly, all of them, most of them came there. So they saw the type of fracas going on inside the vehicle. All their grasses were windscreen were wind up, So those people now had to force them. They opened the door. They said, okay. I was just shouting that they were kidnappers, so I was speaking different language, both Igbo and everything. So all of them now had to force them and told them that they must take me to the nearest police station around that place. So when they asked of the nearest police station, Ikoyi police station, then I said, okay, they must take me to the nearest police station. Themselves, they said that what they were doing was official. I said, okay, at the end of the day, some people volunteered among the people on that route. They volunteered to follow us to the station. So those people, Mr. Ko now had to call the people that sent them, informing them of the situation on ground. At the end of the day, they got authorization that they should take me to the nearest police station. That was how my life was saved. And I was taken to the nearest police station, Ikoyi, back of Ikoyi Club. That was where I was taken to. On getting to that place, it was really dark. So these people handed me over to the police, blood all over me, from my ear, everywhere. So they handed me over to the police and told the police that I was the criminal who wanted to defraud the bank of 355 million. That Morgan will come on Monday to come and explain. I now observed that there was no official letter. Maybe that a criminal like me were being transferred from one police station to the other or something like that. So when the police heard 355 million naira fraud, they started from where these people stopped. They tortured me that night. One of them used this iron rod to choke in my prick. At the end of the day, I gave up. They tortured me till I wasn't breathing again. So that was how they took me. They carried me to the cell and dumped me there. So it was people in the cell, some criminal in the cell, the guys there that revived me. So and told me that I almost died. So that was how I stayed inside that cell till Monday. Then early morning on Monday, they brought me out from the cell. This time around, I was handed over to another IPO, Inspector Bashiru. This time around, this is the second time now, Inspector Bashiru. The first one was Mr. Elegbede. This second one is Inspector Bashiru. I explained before their DPO what actually happened. Then Abimbola came, the man that signed this document came as well. All of us, he made his own statement, I made my statement. At the end of the day, the IPO, Inspector Bashiru, apologized to me for the torture they gave me the previous night and to say that they didn't know that this was actually what happened, So at the end of the day, I was taken to the... So when they say that, when the IPO said that he will, by time after investigation, that if anything has to concern me with this fraud, that he will kill me. Mr. Abimbola, the man that signed this, say no, that they should torture me to say the truth, that I'm the one that know everything. They should forget about any other person. So I was returned to the cell, and Abimbola left.
So what's the situation of things as it is now?
Yes, the situation now is that at the end of the day, I was taken to my house in handcuff. The police ransacked my house. At the end of the day, they could not find anything incriminating on me. The police wrote a report. And from that Monday till Friday, being on the 4th of October 2013, I was taken to court. Okay? So by the time I was charged in court, I was charged for stealing, attempted stealing, conspiracy, and the rest of it, about 3 count charges. And I could not perfect my bail bond. And then I was taken to prison, Ikoyi prison. I stayed in Ikoyi prison for almost 2 months before I was able to perfect my bail bond. But by then, I had sold most of my property and the rest of it before I could come out from there. So when I came out from there, I had no choice. I had to contact some lawyers because I started looking for my salary and the rest of it. But no way. I contacted some lawyers. So the lawyer now had to divide my case into 2, malicious prosecution and fundamental human rights abuse. But he said he will first of all pursue fundamental human rights abuse. He wrote a letter to First Bank, explaining to them what was going on in my life, because I was seriously sick at that time. That they should find me money so that I could go back to hospital and the rest of it. They refused. They returned back. They wrote another letter to me and returned me back. So at the end of the day, we went to court. So in 2000, first day of February 2016, judgment was passed by Justice Animaho of Igboshere High Court. Now, the First Bank is the first respondent. Abimbola, Mojisola, and the rest, including all the police stations. But the justice, discharged many of them and held Abimbola and Mojisola responsible of illegal detention. About 17.7 million naira was awarded against them, on my behalf. So at the end of the day, they refused to pay that money. They went to the appeal court. Although 17% was awarded to them, and the second police station, that which is Ikoyi, 500,000 naira was awarded to them. So Abimbola and Mojisola went to court, appeal court. Now, on the 4th of December 2017, appeal court of Lagos, after looking into the matter, dismissed their appeal, with extra 100,000 naira costs. 3 justices passed that judgment. So when the judgment was dismissed, they still refused to pay the money and sent me notice of appeal to Supreme Court. So at this moment, I have been running up and down. I was writing so many petitions to appeal to Legal Aid Council and so many, even Ministry of Justice in Lagos here, for them to come to my aid. They have been assisting me. Now, presently, we are the Supreme Court on fundamental human rights abuse. Finally, my lawyers at the Femi Falana here had to send a motion. This is currently a motion for dismissal because they have not been able to do what they are supposed to do, so that the matter will come up ever since the appeal was sent. But one interesting thing is that after that time, when I went to court, I realized that these people, none of them were saying anything about the fraud or who did what. So I instructed my lawyer. My lawyer wrote a petition. The first petition I wrote was in 2015 to the EFCC. You see, this is the first petition I wrote. It was in 2015, 15th of October, 30th of October 2015. After this petition, at the end of the day, I was told that my petition and my file had disappeared, that I had to go and write another one. I do not have money to write another one, so I had to wait up to this 2018. It was in 2018 that I was able to write another petition. I did it as a reminder and send it back to them again, asking them to look into my case file, but they refused. So I had to write. Okay. At the end of the day, EFCC told me that my case lacks merit, that I should go to the police, that it is the police that had to do that. I told them that I had already gone to the police. Police said that it was the EFCC. So I had to write Femi Falana chambers here. When I contacted Femi Falana had to now repackage that my petition. But while writing Femi Falana, as I wrote Femi, I had to write another petition to the ICPC. ICPC sent me this letter informing me that they have got that I should wait. And now ICPC had to transfer my letter to EFCC again. So the one of ICPC and the one of Femi Falana now considered together. So that was when the EFCC now started investigating this matter. As I talk to you now, as of last year December, that's 2008 December, a lot of First Bank people had been arrested. As I'm talking to you now, both Kelechi, Abimbola, Mojisola, and the rest of them, including some people from Olam Nigeria Limited, from their account, Mr. Namodi, Mr. Mike, and the rest of them. All of them had been arrested and put on a administrative bail. Okay, but why I decided to make this matter public is because ever since this incident happened, I have suffered a lot. And I realized that First Bank people, I keep on asking questions. I was the only one asking questions as regards to this fraud. I was asking who did this fraud. I want to know who did this fraud. If anything concerns me, let the authorities, hold me responsible. But if not, I deserve some kind of apologies from these people. I have already gone through a lot. I shot. As a matter of fact, you can see this is my first casualties. My company, immediately this incident happened, sacked me instantly without any reason. They gave me a sack letter. I fall sick. I went to General Hospital. I wanted to show you the original of that thing. Odan General Hospital here at Lagos Island, and discovered that the doctor told me that I have a very big hole in both of my ears, that I require this one, some scan and the rest before I will be able to get myself properly treated. And if nothing happened, that it could escalate to another thing. As I talk to you now, pus will be coming out from my ears without any remedy, because I do not have the kind of fund it requires to treat myself properly up to today. As I speak with you, my brother, I am dying in silence. Nobody cares about me. All these people are still working in First Bank up to today. If you should see them, you will pity me. And the worst is that it's only a group of people, some group of people that's handling all these things. The directors in First Bank, the shareholders of First Bank does not know anything about this matter. Each time this case is brought on their behalf, they will just deny that they don't know anything about it. While only one man is suffering for it. I struggle very hard to train myself in school. All the money I got in my life, I spent it look at my WAEC. I obtained this. None of my family assisted me on this. I went to Lagos State Polytechnic. I suffer for this. This is my about Polytechnic form. I had paid money. I was in my second year semester. I would have graduated. I would have become a graduate by now. But these people refunded me. I was in detention. My second year semester exam was supposed to start on Monday, 28th October 2013. While I was in detention, at Ikoyi prison here. And I was finally discharged on the 18th of November 2000. Before I could come out, my mates have written exam. Things has been so difficult for me that I could not do anything again. I've been sick. If you see the way I managed to live in the village, the worst is that these people keep on sending assassins. Where I live in Lagos here at Ojo here, they have been sending assassins, trying to assassinate me, so that this matter would die a natural death. But only God has saved my life. Only God has saved. I know what I passed through all my life. I went to learn a business edition. After learning the business trade, I said, okay, let me try to know if I will raise money to do the business. But up till now, I have not been able to raise money. I had a land in the village. I tried to sell that land. I had to raise money to start business. No way. I went to government. I said, okay, my 500,000 naira is with the police. Okay, police, please look at the letter I wrote to this Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, an appeal for them to release this money. Look at it here. I have 4 documents to this thing. They refer me to Abuja. They say that Inspector General is involved, and they refer me to Abuja. I went to Abuja. Look at the letter I wrote to Abuja. I went personally to submit it. At the end of the day, up to today, my case file is there. I keep on going there, no way. Now, a lawyer assisted me in returning to court. They said, okay, since the police doesn't want to pay the money, that they will have to go to court so that they will pay the other central bank to pay the money. Look at it here. We will return back to a magistrate court. Somebody Central Bank. My brother, do you know that at the end of the day, the magistrate court told my lawyer that we need to obtain a consent letter from this thing. Look at on the 4th of October 2017. That's when we went to court. Garniship proceeding. That's what they call it. The magistrate told my lawyer that we need to obtain a consent letter from AGF before this 500,000 naira will be released to me. My lawyer wrote a letter. He never got a response from them. I said no problem that I will write it by myself. I was only looking for money, but whether 200,000 or 500 to start business so that I will become useful to my society. But at the end of the day, I wrote that letter. I went to AGF in Abuja. Look at my letter here. It's not that maybe this is, I went there and submitted it. Mr. Bala is secretary of AGF, Attorney General of the Federation in Abuja here. He told me that for the past 15 years that Attorney General don't used to give a consent, because each time he gives such consent that they used to have problem with the police. That was how I returned. My lawyer went back to court and reported the matter. The magistrate said that he had no powers because of TSA, because of TSA, that's this policy of bank policy. Because of that he has no power to do anything again. That was how my lawyer withdrew this matter from the decision. Now I understand why the police can detain innocent citizens without, justification, because they know that even if you go to court, they will not come. And when finally, if court should award anything for you in your favor, you will never get it. So how do you think that our nation will be free from police oppression and the rest of it? So this has been my ordeal. As I'm in Lagos right now, you can see, we spoke yesterday, and today I'm in Lagos. Before you knew it, I'm back to my village, because any minute I spend in Lagos here, my life is not safe. So that is all about my life as I'm talking to you now.
So what is your appeal now? What do you want to be done?
Number one, I would like, first of all, a situation whereby First Bank management get to admit or hear this issue, so that they will stop denying that they don't know anything about this fraud. 355 million naira is not 1 naira. Okay. Secondly, let the EFCC do a thorough job on this matter, because the way it is going now, at least for how many months, the way it's going now, anything, poor man does not have a say in Nigeria. So maybe any time I may end up, not hearing from them anymore. But I know that if government, the whole world is interested in this matter, that will enable them to do a thorough job on it. Finally, I just want this whole matter to end, so that my life could return back to me again. As you see me, I need to go back to hospital. At least it's only the person who has life that will need to make money. Me, as I talk to you now, I am not even thinking about how to make money. I'm even thinking about how my life will be restored to me. I need to return back to school. It's only money that will enable me to return back to school and become a graduate. Because if I join armed robbery today, will my nation blame me for that? If I join crime? But I have tried up to this moment. I need the government to look into my plight. I need First Bank of Nigeria PLC management to look into my plight and see how they can come up and remedy this situation before it's too late. I may spend 20 years at the Supreme Court. I wouldn't know, because that has been their wishes. But imagine a whole cockroach like me, being dragged up and down at the expense of big men who are still in the bank up to today. That is the worst. They are still in the bank working up to today without any punishment meted out on them. Whether they are the ones who did the fraud or something, I don't know. I don't care to know. But the question I keep asking is, why would I be used as an scapegoat for the fraud and insider job done by some people who are still living fat up to today. This thing is traceable. All the accounts where the money is supposed to be transferred is registered company accounts. It's traceable. So I don't know why it took First Bank up to this moment. How many years? This is 6 years now. 25th of this September will complete 6th year. This matter, I started this matter. I've been on this matter. So this is my appeal to government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darlington. We hope the government will look into your matter.